What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Party on Broad. The NFL draft is in the books, and we are putting some grades on. I hate doing grades, but people like them. And we're going to talk each draft pick by Howie Roseman and especially Vic Fangio, who had his imprint in a lot of the decisions made over the last few days. We're also going to talk our favorite picks, our least favorite picks, and as well as look at some undrafted free agents joining us. He is Rob Lange at Philly_Madness. What's up, man?
Hey, guys. Yeah, fun weekend, entertaining. Definitely answered some areas of need. Definitely drafted a Georgia defensive player, which you knew would always happen at some point. And I'm excited to learn about some of them because I know about a few of them, but there's obviously a couple names on this list I don't know too much about. So got to go to my gurus up here to fill me in.
Also joining us, the Ryan Reese at Philly Sports PSA. Ryan, you're on mute, man.
Yes, I am. Sorry, I was yelling at my kid before the show to keep it down over there.
There you go.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. What's going on, Krabby? Thanks for joining. DMC says Andrew Makuba is going to be tough. I smell repeat inbound. Eagles won.
Sure.
What's up, Brianna? Thanks for joining. I like Makuba both on and off the field. I like the international aspect. That's really cool, too. Where's he from? Like Zimbabwe or something along those lines? Fantastic. Howie did about as well as possible. We're going to get into it. There's some head scratchers that we'll talk about as well. What's going on, Antonio? Thanks for joining. Rob, your audio is a little low, FYI.
Speak up. Speak up.
I might have to turn my fan off. It might be the fan.
He is from Zimbabwe. Let's jump right into this thing. Ryan, lead us off, man. How would you grade Jihaad Campbell? What does he bring to the Philadelphia Eagles?
A plus. Yeah, whatever the highest grade you got, we're going for it. This is a guy that many people had in their top 10, and somehow he falls to yet again to Howie. Jihaad Campbell is an absolute stud at Alabama. This guy has an amazing quick first step. He is aggressive, hitting the gaps, getting into the backfield. Great with the run game. Great with he's great in coverage. Obviously, coverage skills wise, he certainly could use a little bit of polishing, but for a college linebacker, for somebody who didn't do it all that terribly often, he was very good at it. Sheds blocks really well. He's got a pop to his tackling. Honestly, I think this guy is going to fit in so nicely next to Zach Bond. I kind of can see them being very similar in their styles. Campbell a little bit younger, a little bit faster. This is a home run deal, and we were live on air. I lost my mind. I did not think it was possible to ever see a first round linebacker in my lifetime. So I love it.
What about you, Rob? Oh, Ryan, how would you grade it? A+?
Whatever the highest grade you got. A+.
Rob, go ahead, man.
Yeah, and I'm kind of in the A+ range. Listen, as you guys know by now, if you follow us, Dibes and Ryan will break this down. But here's my stance. They drafted a linebacker in the first round for the first time since the 1970s. They targeted a guy and then had this guy fall to them at 31 when they were trying to trade to 22, 23, 24 to go up and get him. This was obviously a guy that the team and my guess is Vic Fangio felt very, very confident on that they wanted this guy to be a part of this defense. I think his versatility is going to be huge for this team. Obviously, I do think he's an inside linebacker first and foremost, but you can walk him down to the line when you go to that 5-man front, have him rush off the edge, have him do some fun things. And you pair him with another aggressive linebacker and Zach Bond, and it's, could it be the best linebacker tandem? I mean, it's tough to say right now until they get on the field, right? But when you talk about Eagles, You don't really talk about having unbelievable linebacker tandems. You may just about have that now, which is very, very exciting, especially when you look at a defense that lost 5 or 6 guys last year. And here they come. They load back up. Young guys. Now, yeah, they got to come out. They got to play. They got to do the right things. But on paper, this is an A+, and you can't really argue that.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement with you guys. A+ is all the way around. I liked it more when I woke up the next morning, and I was giving it an A during our draft watch party. Give me an A+. I never thought he would be there. He was, I think, in the late teens, early 20s for me on my big board. But Jihaad Campbell, man, he is just yet another chess piece for Vic Fangio. Add him to the list of Zach Bond and Cooper DeJean, guys that can provide multiple roles. Positionless football is kind of the focal point of the Eagles this offseason. And Jihaad Campbell, like you all said, does a lot of the things that Zach Bond blew our minds with this past season. He can drop back. He's got immense traits. I mean, that was also the theme, immense traits. And there's a lot of guys that need a lot of coaching in the NFL level. And I think Jihaad Campbell under Vic Fangio is going to be great. A+ is all the way around. Philly Sports Go Boom says, I'm guilty of crashing out right around the 5th round. Don't worry. We'll get into Powell-Ryland and Cameron Williams. Don't worry. We'll be there soon.
Oh, yeah. We'll get there.
Krabby loves the helmet pop. Him hitting Jackson Dart, man.
Yeah.
We're going to see that a lot.
A lot.
I see Eagles fans every time I go out of the house. Krabby, you're in Vegas, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. All right, let's roll to Andrew Makuba. Andrew Makuba selected with pick number 64. I was really happy about it. It was either him or Xavier Watts in that area. Some people call it a reach, but I think he's a great fit. I think he's a guy that is great in coverage. He's a free safety. He's a guy that fits really well next to Reed Blankenship. Reed Blankenship can focus on tackling and playing closer to the line and making plays. Makuba can sit back and does all the things that is really important in a Vic Fangio defense. You see a lot of 2 high safeties. You see Andrew Makuba, be able to step up and defend the slot. He could maybe even, fill in for Cooper DeJean if needed in different situations. So Andrew Makuba, CJGJ clone all the way. If Jihaad Campbell was the Zach Bond clone, Andrew Makuba was a CJGJ clone. I'll throw it to you first, Rob. How would you grade it?
Yeah, I'm kind of between an A and a B+ here. I love the pick. And once again, the buzzword for the Philadelphia Eagles under Vic Fangio is going to be versatility. And this guy's versatility, I think his athletic traits are exactly why the Eagles might have chose him over a guy that a lot of people feel was more pro-ready in Xavier Watts. But, Xavier Watts may not have the athletic traits that Makuba does. Yeah, he's on the smaller side, but he's obviously not afraid to hit. You see that in his highlight tapes. He lays the wood. He comes down. I heard someone describe him. They said his straight line come down and hit somebody is a Sidney Brown type. However, he is infinitely better in space and in coverage than Sidney Brown, which makes him, my choice right now, sitting here in April, which doesn't matter, as, the projected starter at that safety position over Sidney Brown. I think they're going to give Sidney Brown an opportunity to win it. But at the end of the day, if you take Andrew Makuba at 64, where, like Dibe said, some people think maybe it was a little early for him, you obviously see a perfect fit for your system, which tells me he's going to get every opportunity to win the job. And I think he does. And he plays next, alongside Reed.
What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I thought this was a solid A pick. Only reason why I didn't give it a plus is because I had Xavier Watts a little higher rated. But, again, I also have to kind of use the old, Vic Fangio wanted him. So I trust that. Yeah. And I was a huge fan of Makuba. Back when he was over at Clemson, transferring to Texas, the man, I think, like you said, a lot of CJ Gardner-Johnson A lot of Rodney McLeod, some traits there. Can absolutely has some pop on his hit as well. We just got 2 bangers. So yeah, I'm super happy, and yeah, he is Sidney Brown, but in a controlled environment.
Yep.
And a 4-year starter, 4-year collegiate starter. So I mean that's impressive at big program.
Made some big play. He made arguably the play of the game against Arizona State.
Yep.
With that pick. He's got a lot of snaps and big moments. Fun fact: he never had a penalty, which is really cool. That's insane. 5 interceptions last year. He played really well his freshman year at Clemson. And for the most part, he was a free safety. The next 2 years at Clemson, they kind of moved him around a little bit more. And then when he went, his play definitely dropped. He moved to Texas, where he played predominantly free safety, 71.3% of his snaps. 18.1% of those snaps were in the box and 10 in the slot. At free safety, 71% at free safety, and that's where he shined. He was terrific. And I feel like that's exactly what we're going to see here with the Philadelphia Eagles. I just love this pick. I think he can be a center fielder. He's undersized, but I think he's already gained like 10, 15 pounds throughout the draft process. Did you see him during the press conference? Like, he looked jacked. He looked jacked. So I don't really worry about that. And this is not a guy Vic Fangio is going to want playing in the box anyway. So it's not that big of a concern. For me, I actually think if the season was starting right now, Tristan McCollum would be the starter. And I think Andrew Makuba is definitely going to put pressure on that. I think he will be the starter for sure. This is just a guy that Vic Fangio wants. He wants a guy that can interchange positions from whether that's edge or linebacker or safety, nickel, dime, you name it. And I think Andrew Makuba fits that to a T. Cameron says, y'all see Shedeur Sanders. Yeah, that sucks. I hate that stuff.
Dude, listen, I know that a lot of people just hate him and his antics. I felt bad for that kid.
It's horrible.
For that thing to continue on. And guess what? I firmly believe that the Browns jumped the Eagles when they did because the Eagles were about to select Shedeur Sanders with the next pick. I firmly believe that. There was a lot of rumblings I heard from not only national reporters, but Eagles beat reporters who are inside that building saying that Eagles were seriously considering taking Shedeur Sanders as their backup quarterback.
I mean, value right there would have been insane. Apparently it was the son of a D coordinator from the Atlanta Falcons that was the one who did the prank call. Somehow got the number, and there's rumor that the daughter of
Joe Shane,
the GM of the Giants, gave it out. There's a lot of twists and turns. Yeah. I do feel bad for him, but I also kind of don't, in a way. You reap what you sow. Everything I have seen about him is just he walked into this whole process like he was going to be handed a first-round pick, top 10 pick, and he didn't take it seriously. Again, I wasn't there. I don't know if that's true or not. Right. But, if that is the case, then all right, good. Glad you fell to the fifth.
By the way, Marshawn, if by a weekend bender you mean watching 10-year-old softball all weekend,
that's what I was dying at.
That was the extent of my weekend.
I was waiting for the comment to come through, and there it was.
Jerry Sandusky University.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I saw that too a lot, where people are crying because Eagles fan Abdul Carter went to the Giants, and how he didn't do anything, and how could they let Tyler Warren go to the Colts, and how he didn't do anything. I could not tell you these couldn't have been more faker fans of just not knowing anything.
Yeah, like I'm a Penn State fan. Didn't bother me that much, guys.
No, I don't give a crap. It would have been cool, sure. Yeah. But only because they're good players, not because they went to Penn State.
Yeah. John says everyone wanted Starks. Yeah, There was multiple times where I just don't think the board fell the Eagles' way. We'll get into that a little bit more, especially on day 2 and
in round 1.
Yeah. In round 1, Jihaad Campbell fell, but we were truthfully looking for D-line, and they were sniped up. I remember doing our drinking game throughout, the first round during the watch party. We were taking shots every time an offensive player was taken. I was sober. Sanders was acting like he was a sec. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would not have liked that pick for Shedeur Sanders if I was the Eagles. I would have been upset about that. Let's roll on to Ty Robinson. Ty Robinson to the Philadelphia Eagles here. Round 4 with pick number 111. Howie Roseman trading out of the 3rd round. There were a few guys sitting there, like Braden Swinson, a guy that I was really high on. Several guys. He made up for it because I love Ty Robinson. He was one of the guys I pegged to the Eagles a long time ago because of fit. 6'5", 288. He's a defensive tackle. He is old, and he is kind of your old school, like thumper type of prospect. He's very raw, kind of high floor, low ceiling kind of dude. I think he can play edge on the Eagles defense. I think he's got great strength. I think he's a big-time playmaker. Of course, that versatility word is coming up with this one. He can fit any scheme. I think he's a situational defensive tackle, pass rusher in different schemes. And I'm really excited to see what he does with the Eagles. So I got him pegged to the Eagles in round 4 many times during our mock. So I was thrilled with this. And the cherry on the top was learning the other day that he's got a pet camel. How freaking cool is that? What a dog. He's a dog. So for me, I give this Ty Robinson pick an A. I think he's a great fit. I think it's an underrated need for the Eagles, a defensive tackle that can, be a big piece of that rotation with Moro Jomo and Carter and Davis and so forth. So, Ryan, how would you grade Ty Robinson?
I would say this is a B+. I think I had him rated 1 of 3. So to get him at 111 again is certainly value. And it was a position of need in the interior. So, I was a fan of him. Certainly there were, the opportunities to get an interior defensive lineman didn't really present themselves, sadly, the way that we all thought that it would. And we knew, if we missed on the first couple of guys, there was a drop-off. But I liked Robinson. I like his versatility as well. I feel like he can kind of play all over the line. Hell, he played some fullback.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! When he just smacked that one.
Yeah, dude. It was. So I think he said he lined up 7 times at fullback, and they scored a touchdown on 6 of them. Gotta love that. I give it a solid B+. I definitely like the kid.
B+ for Ryan. What about you, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it a B+ because I really, really like the kid. I think the reason I don't give it an A is I'm not happy that they traded out of the 3rd round. I thought there were plenty of players there for them to grab someone in a that I'm sure that they had a decent enough grade on that probably filled a void, whether it be on offense or defense. I did not really like the double trade back. You trade back once, okay, no problem. But the trade back again and trade out of that round, I thought was a missed opportunity, which is why I'm giving this a B+. It really has nothing to do with the kid because he is a mauler. He's a bear. Like this guy's going to go in there and he's going to be he looks like a big country boy. Like that's what he looks like. And as Ryan said, like he can do this, right? He can get in the backfield and he can lead the way and murder people.
The guy disappeared.
Yeah,
dude, that guy's dead.
Yeah.
So you want to take away the tush? You want to take away the tush push? That's fine. We're going to put Ty Robinson in the game and tell you to stop us from 4th and inches. It's not going to happen. Definitely love the player. Didn't like trading back twice in the 3rd round, which is why it's a B+ instead of an A.
Yeah, I do hate that crap, but whatever.
There was a wild run of tight ends in round, what was it, 2 or 3? I forget.
Yeah, it was in 2, and then Fanning went
so early. I was like, what?
Like I would have been mad if the Eagles took Fanning at 64. So, it kind of
I kind of am. I'm not gonna lie. I can't wait for 5 years from
now. Ty Robinson was also pre-med. Did you see the video of Cam Jurgens reacting to Ty Robinson?
Yeah, that was good.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
Marshawn says Pet Camel. The white boy's different. We got a new addition to the exciting whites. Marshawn says, get your fluids in, Rob. Yeah, we'll get into that. I'm just happy we didn't get Gunner. He was sitting there for sure. Braden Swinson's the one guy that I really would have liked.
Gunner mid-helm.
Well, they took the next pick we're going to talk about, and I think Braden Swinson was still on the board.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
too.
he was. He got picked right after.
All right, let's get into it. Mac McWilliams with the first pick in round 5, number 145. This was, I don't like it. This was probably a D for me. He's not a guy I know a lot about, and I don't want that to be a negative. I think it's important I start out with that. It's not a negative that I don't know who this is, and that affects his, draft grade. There's plenty of guys that I've never heard of all the time, especially on day 3. It's very clear that Vic Fangio was, getting his guys. And, Mac McWilliams is a very good athlete. He's kind of a jack of all trades, a master of none. He had some solid tape as a zone defender in coverage. That's kind of what you're getting, what you're looking at. Who was that addition from the New York Giants, the cornerback?
Adoree Jackson?
It's kind of what you're looking at out of Adoree Jackson. I think he's very small, though. Maybe he is best as a nickel corner with the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not sure. I don't know how much I like his upside on the outside, but that's how I view this. I feel like he's a good zone defender. I feel like he's good in coverage, and that's what they're bringing him in to do, just as a depth piece. Ryan, how would you grade it? I give it a D.
Yeah, I got to give it a D, and mostly because I don't know a lot about him. I do know that he's a little bit on the smaller side, and the fact that Braden Swinson was right there and would have been a great pick. That would have been insane value. So, listen, I still want to dive into him a little bit more. So certainly that could change. I just think it was kind of a weird pick, and I did no prep on him and was just like, oh.
What about you, Ryan? Or Rob, sorry.
Yeah, I think I'm with you guys because I look at it and I say, this early 5th round pick, your first 5th round pick, I would have liked you to have drafted somebody who maybe had a chance of getting on the field. Maybe not right away, but like this guy just seems like a body. He seems just like another guy to put in the defensive back, which is fine. You need those guys, but I'd rather you do that later. I'd rather see a guy here that may be able to come and contribute. I don't know if this guy has any special teams experience, if he's going to be able to do that. Definitely quicker. Once again, you said it again. You wonder if the whole versatility thing is why Vic liked them. But I felt this was a reach for them. I felt this was the first time that they were truly reaching for a player in this draft. So I was just not necessarily a fan of the pick. And obviously you guys know me. If you guys only know a little about them, I don't know a damn thing about them, but I don't want to make that the reason why I'm saying this. So
yeah. This guy definitely got some heat, at least on my timeline on Twitter.
Yeah,
I don't want that to be like a thing.
Right.
It's totally unfair.
There's a lot of unknown here, and that's all there is. So let's keep it at that, and hope that again, Fangio we trust, right?
And realistically, like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know more about the Eagles and their draft scouting squad and all that kind of stuff too. Like, so anyway, we'll see. Baldy, said McWilliams was 99th percentile in zone coverage. Exactly. That's what he does. There's a reason why I think Adoree Jackson is a better fit than Kelee Ringo on the Philadelphia Eagles. He just fits better. He's a better zone defender, better in coverage, whereas Kelee Ringo is really good in press, and the Eagles never run press. He's going to add depth to that rotation. All of McWilliams' highlights are him playing bubble screens.
All right.
Nope, not reading that. Yeah, it's okay not to like a draft pick too, but on the other end, like, I need to just know more about him. And Vic Fangio has earned the right to say, this is my guy.
So, he's earned the benefit of the doubt. So
yeah, and this is what I fully like. People are upset about, oh my gosh, like it was a reach. We're talking about a 5th round draft pick, like realistically in a bad draft. Like there's context, and I think that's important.
Well, I think when we talk about a reach, it's because who was on the board still.
Yeah, I think that
because there's guys on the board
that
could fit better, that a lot of us liked better. That's what we mean. We may not mean it in the typical definition of a reach, but we mean it in that sense.
Yeah. All right. So we are. Rob, what was your grade?
D.
All right. Wow. Talk with McWilliams. Let's roll on to Smael Mondon Jr. Kind of shocked they drafted him. Ryan, this was your boy. Lead us off, man. What'd you think, and how would you grade Smael Mondon Jr.?
Yeah, I'd give it an A. I did not think he was going to go this early. And I think so. That's the only reason why it was kind of an A. He's definitely a guy I wanted them to look at. The guy is absolutely, I think you said it best the other day that, he was a guy that you really were hoping would kind of take a leap this past year, and he just kind of never did.
Yeah.
So he's been dealing with some injuries, and he's very raw. He's got a lot of athleticism, but I think that's fine for a 5th rounder. I mean, Trot was a 5th rounder, and again, we obviously have to kind of figure out depth after, and Rob.
Should we just lose Rob?
Yeah, Rob's internet just died, just like earlier. But we got to figure out, the depth part of linebacker, especially with, Dean's health and his longevity up in the air. So I like it. Another Georgia Bulldog added to the mix. He'll fit in, and I think he already has kind of a leg up. Anytime you can go into a room and you already know like half the guys. So I think that certainly makes his transition a lot easier, makes the learning process happen a lot quicker. So I'm excited to kind of see the raw clay that is Smael Mondon and see what happens.
Yeah, really good fit. Rob's back. What's up, Rob?
Hey, Rob, is your internet on a bender too?
It might be. The wind is bad around here. I don't know if that's what's doing it, but it is not working.
It's whether or not he can stay on the field. And he's always been a really good talent when he's on the field. The dude has amazing range, amazing closing speed. That athleticism pops, as you saw on the highlights. He can drop back in coverage. He can make plays from not being on the screen, and he flies and makes the big play to save a touchdown. But he's got major injury histories. 2023, he played 10 games. He missed the Orange Bowl due to injury. During the offseason, he had surgery to repair a stress fracture in his foot that caused him to miss spring practices. During 2024, he was in a boot and missed the Auburn and Mississippi State game. So he returned to play in Ole Miss in November, played 15 snaps, then got hurt again. So, that's the thing. He has recurring foot issues, and that's why he has fallen. If he were able to stay healthy, his draft, we would be talking about a totally different type of prospect. because of that athleticism, because of that range. There's a lot to like, but man, I think the fit is there. The fit is definitely there for Vic Fangio's defense and what he wants out of his linebackers. Rob, how would you grade Smael Mondon?
I'd probably give it a solid B+. I think special teams wise, it sounds like he could be a beast right away for you. Like you said, he's developmental. He needs to work on some things. But listen, with the Nakobe Dean injury, to go into the linebacker pool twice, probably not a bad decision. You don't know how long you're going to be without Dean. It's good to have a little bit of depth in that place. So you're picking in the 5th round. It's okay to pick a depth piece, I guess at this point. It's a Georgia kid. He was coached well. He was a 3-year starter there?
Yeah. He's a leader of that defense when healthy, for sure.
Yeah, and a 3-year starter. He learned the right way. So, I have no problems with the pick. Like you guys said, I think a lot of people saw him going a little bit later. So that's why I'll stick with the B+ there.
Yeah, I think it was a 5th. I think it was a day 3 pick. I don't think I'm as high as you guys. I'll probably go B-. I'll go B-.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Some comments. David thinks Smael looks like he could be Snoop's son.
For Shizzle.
Okay.
Shizzle.
Everywhere on Philly Media. Okay. Do tell.
We could maybe we'll do a recap of the NFC East at the end of the show if we have time.
Only if there's enough time.
Pat says Mondon has some potential. He does. He just needs to stay healthy.
Yeah.
People aren't liking me about my B-. I am not the biggest Smael Mondon Jr. because of the injury history. That's just the reality. Let's roll on to Drew Kendall. Drew Kendall with the 168th pick. The Eagles had a backup center, which they didn't have on the roster. But Drew Kendall, I think, has a lot of athleticism. His tape is really fun with him getting into that second level and pulling, which the Eagles love to do. I think he has real upside as at right guard. I was really impressed with his press conference. Throw it to you, Rob. How would you grade Drew Kendall? I think I'm a solid B.
Yeah, and I was going to say I think I'm a solid B as well. Look, you got a guy here who best case scenario, maybe he could be the right guard for you. Worst case scenario, he gives you center depth that this team did not have and had to shuffle around the line this season in the playoffs when some injuries happen. I like the idea of having somebody there designated for that role if need be. You needed an interior lineman at some point in this draft. You didn't force it. You didn't try and pick one too early just to do it. You waited till you had a guy probably ranked right around where you got him, and you took him. So I think from that standpoint, solid pick by Howie and the Eagles to get that interior offensive lineman.
Yeah, O-line depth was a sneaky need for the Birds. But these highlights are really fun. There's way more than this, but I had to keep it to a minute because that's how you have to be really careful with making YouTube shorts. It'll ding you. Ryan, how would you grade Drew Kendall?
Yeah, I'd say C+.
Okay.
Don't know a lot about him, for what I have seen since. Yeah, he seems like he would be a decent fit. The need was certainly there. But again, I worry about, if he'll go the same route as Dylan McCannon from last year. So, but yeah, hopefully he sticks around and we could use the depth behind center. And I think it could be a decent fit. I'm always a fan of throwing anybody into Sattler and you. So,
yep. Mm-hmm. Philly Sports Go Boom says O-line room is getting crowded. That's a good thing. I mean, remember last playoffs, was it Cam Jurgens who got hurt, and then
that's what I mean.
And Dickerson had to come in, and then he got hurt, and they didn't have a lot of great options. Ryan, what are you eating? Is that a ice cream bar? Terrific.
Yeah.
So good. So underrated.
I mean, my son was grabbing one. I was just like, yeah, hit me with one of them too.
Punt Man doesn't like the pick. D pick, thinking it was a reach. Dived. Yes, he has played guard.
Oh, man.
He never played guard. hold on. He never played guard at what was it? Boston College? I forget.
Yeah.
But he played guard his whole life before that. And he, like, per him, he said that he was like kind of forced to play that position because that was like his quickest way to getting snaps for Boston College. But he said majority of his time before then, throughout high school, he was a right guard.
Yeah, and if you look at the way he moves, he can get out with the pulling, as the Eagles love to do with their guards. I can't believe we even put Tony the Siberian up. No one has said a damn word about any of their picks. So for you to say that we're hating on it. And secondly, maybe the Giants got Abdul Carter. Everyone else, and I'm not saying they were bad picks. I thought actually the NFC East did really well all the way down. But I didn't necessarily want any of the guys that outside of an Abdul Carter that I saw get picked by the three rivals of us.
Marshawn says the ice cream bar is the Tim Duncan of desserts.
I mean, listen, you're not wrong, but guess what? It comes in.
That's not an ice cream bar. That's
it does its job.
That's an ice cream sandwich, correct?
Any ice cream bar, ice cream sandwich is different. That's like the cookie sandwich with the little chocolate chips in the middle.
No. That's a chipwich, man. That's a chipwich.
Okay, whatever you want to call it.
I mean, it's called the original chipwich. It says
okay, well, regardless, that right there is the GOAT.
Are they not two chocolate wafers with ice cream in the middle?
Yeah.
That's an ice cream sandwich.
That's what I said.
That's what I said. You said it was an ice cream bar.
Who said bar? Me?
By the way, Choco Taco is the best ice cream dessert there is, period.
No, it's absolutely
not even close. It is the Choco. The Choco Taco is king.
Choco Taco was a phenomenal item. Listen, none of you can talk ice cream to me, okay? Spent 4 years selling that. Spent 4 years selling that shit on a bike.
When Rob's internet died. Oh, well, look at what happened. Looks like your internet got frozen there, pal. Yeah, in college and in high school, I worked at Dairy Queen. So,
that's Dairy Queen is underrated too. Those blizzards are fine.
Yeah, I didn't have a blizzard for 20 years after I worked there.
No, the Choco Taco is king. Yeah, we'll get to Kyle McCord. I love how Rob just froze. I did one as a Raku. I wanted Trey Amos. That would have been a nice addition as CB2.
I like how we're keeping
which is a different animal.
Aww.
I think he's back. We'll see. I think he's back. Man is passionate about his desserts. Wanted Amos, Jaden Blue, and Bo. More culinary discussion. This is becoming a thing here. Rob, diabetes is not flat. Oh my God, these comments are terrific. The ice cream sandwich is elite. It's so simple. Sometimes less is more, right. And I think it just hits right. Like it's just
it comes in.
2 chocolate wafers, vanilla ice cream, it's just straight fire. Especially like at the beach or at the pool when it's hot.
Oh yeah,
I just eat it in like 2 seconds and it's just amazing.
100%. Yeah.
All right, let's roll on. Rob will join us momentarily. Let's get to Kyle McCord, which was hilarious because Will Howard, your boy, went right after him. There was a weird run of cornerbacks at this point.
There was, yeah. It was a funny run.
Yeah, but a little bit about Kyle McCord. I was not impressed with him during his time at Ohio State. Then he transferred to Syracuse and he looked great. He really grew, I thought, in 2024. He made some big strides, especially as a passer. The touch he has on his deep passes was really impressive. He actually made some very solid throws. Guys in stride, hitting guys in tight windows. That was not that great. But trust me, there are some plays on here that are pretty solid. But Kyle McCord, do you ever watch that John Gruden?
I was just about to say, did you see the clip of him with John Gruden?
I was blown away. I was really impressed with that. This is a great throw. So I think he's going to add competition with Dorian Thompson-Robinson, as that third quarterback. This makes me kind of think that Tanner McKee could be moved in the somewhat near future. He's only, got 2 years left on his deal. So the Eagles
he has the most value right now of all the backups. You have DTR. You now bring in McCord. Obviously one's got to go. And you would hope you don't just waste a pick, even be it in the 6th round, knowing full well that you're keeping the other 2 guys.
So I'm gonna get killed for this, but I'm gonna say how I feel, and I mean this. I hated the quarterback class this year. I thought it was garbage. I thought Shedeur was overrated.
Yeah.
Cam Ward, I really like, but he was a late 1st round, high 2nd round.
Barely.
That's what he was. That's me being honest. I thought Kyle McCord was among the top day 3 quarterbacks you could have added. I was really happy about this pick, and I'm going to give this a B+. I low-key think he's solid. I think he's going to impress us this offseason. I think he's got a really talented arm. And, he doesn't fit kind of what the Eagles want to do, like Jalen Hurts, and make plays with his legs. But I think Kyle McCord is a processor. Yeah. I think he's a gamer, and I'm buying the arm. So give me a B+.
Yeah, and like I said, if you saw the Gruden thing, he said all the right things of how you want a professional football player to act, to respond, and to go about his business. So that for that part, I liked it. I'll give this a B+ as well, just because, again, I think this gives us options to kind of move one of the other pieces, whether that's, Tanner McKee or DTR. I know, God forbid, we move on from Tanner McKee. The people might,
that's the best case scenario. The best case scenario is you get
right. Isn't that the whole point? Is to build up these quarterbacks and trade them for better assets later.
That's the entire point. Not sorry, but that is literally what.
Right. Exactly.
The goal is. So you're going B+?
Yeah. Hopefully, Rob looks like his internet is dead. Just like his ice cream.
B+ for Rob.
Yeah, B+ for Rob.
Yeah, Rob.
I told him to jump in.
I love it. Daniel says Cam Ward would have been like the 4th or 5th. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, thank you, Daniel. Yeah, he would have been somewhere between Michael Penix, Bo Nix, JJ McCarthy. I think he's somewhere in there.
Yeah, I personally think I don't know. Maybe he would have been a 1st round. Maybe he would have slipped to the 2nd. Yep. Depends on how many teams, we're truly going quarterbacks. So
yeah. Fit for trade says having a decent backup quarterback.
Oh, absolutely.
We want Rob back. Hopefully he returns momentarily. Keeping Tanner, Tom, and Brady, McKee, and McCord, and releasing GTR. I like it. C+ or B- for McCord. I think Rob Internet sucks. Cellular data is working fine. Maybe he returns, maybe he doesn't. Let's roll into Miles Hinton. I was not a big fan of this pick. Miles Hinton has a lot of experience playing left and right tackle. You're looking at possibly a swing tackle within a few years. He is super raw. I give this a D. I'm just not a big fan of Hinton. I actually like the following 2 picks way more than Hinton. If you would have just if you would have thrown Hinton at 209, maybe that changes my grade a little bit. But I give this a D. He's a traits guy. That one highlight of him blowing up someone on the 2nd level on a pool is nice. But anyway, give me a D.
Yeah, I gotta say I don't know a lot about him either. I think again I'm gonna kind of be in the McWilliams train of I'll give it a B a D. A D. So a little bit more. But it goes to show you that I like the next guy we're about to talk about a lot better. So
Daniel says a C- for him. Rob is the ice cream man. We're calling Rob chocolate fudge. D for Rob. All right, I'll make it.
Sorry.
Rob, what would you grade Kyle McCord? Did he say? Let me know. I'm not sure if I saw it.
Yeah, I think he said B+.
Did he say B+?
Didn't he? Yeah.
All right, I'll add it.
I'm the man of the people. Shut up, Rob. B plus.
We'll get to Holland Pierce very soon for sure. Miles Hinton played with Trevor Keegan. Stout will coach up Williams nicely.
Yes.
B plus. All right, let's roll on to Cameron Williams, the next pick for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Massive, man.
Massive. I mean, we're talking about a guy that really struggled last year in big moments, big games. He got absolutely killed by Georgia and Ohio State. Killed like
was that last year or was it the year before?
I think it was last year, man.
I thought it was the year before.
I could be wrong. I don't know. But anyway, you're buying the traits. You're buying the explosive athleticism. I think he moves to right guard, and I'm really intrigued with that. Like, there's some Mekhi Becton in this guy.
Sure.
He was looking at being a potential first-round pick in 2026 had he returned. There's a few guys like that. Like, as I was doing my 2026 research, a lot of the top guys struggled in 2024, and that's okay. And this guy did too. You know, consistency, it's not there. And he's very raw and needs a lot of coaching. But in terms of traits and athleticism, man, this guy could be a really fun addition. In about 2 or 3 years from now, I like his potential as a right guard mauling in the run game. That's where I'm at. I give this an A.
Yeah. No, agreed. I give it. I'll give it an A. I feel like only the first pick is really worthy of the A plus. But yeah, I think this is good value. I think this is a guy who was a leader on that offensive line for Texas. I think he's going to come in and absolutely buy in. And, you know, again, if he does kick in inside, that's great. If not, he can absolutely be, a swing tackle. He's just a massive dude who just needs a little work. It's funny. I think the Atlanta Falcons, they put out a clip of their first round pick, Jalen Walker, and he was going up against Cameron Williams, and Williams was just like, he basically shut him down until like Quinn Ewers happened to trip over over Cameron or whatever. But it was funny because 1-on-1 he had him. So yeah, this guy's definitely got potential to be a pretty decent player. And yeah, I love the comparisons to Mekhi Becton. I think that certainly could be his path. But either way, he's a big dude who just loves hitting dudes. So gotta love it.
Yeah, whereas there's a lot of tackles in this draft that I think projected inside because of whatever arm length or whatever. But like in terms of tools, athleticism, wingspan, I'm excited for this guy. I think he would be a really good fit, and I think you saw it on the tape. Needs a lot of coaching with his footwork, and work, and things like that. He has a long way to go. But like Antonio says, man, Stoutland, I'm really excited. Pat doesn't like it. D plus or C minus. Pat says
fair enough. Have faith in Stout. And Rob, you have no idea about me and the people, and what his saying that was it. You'll never be able to slum it with the people like me. Oh, I'm sure you slummed it all right this weekend.
What did Rob say for this one? I missed it. I can't do both.
I'll look.
Ryan, how would you? A. You gave it an A. What did you give Cameron Williams?
Yeah, I gave it an A as well.
Wow.
A's and I just think it's a great value. This is a guy that, again, we were talking about last week on Armchair Scouts. He was one of my guys. So glad we got him.
All right, let's roll on to our last guy of the draft, Antwaun Powell-Ryland. I have no idea how he fell to 209. I didn't even know he was available. I was kind of, at this point in the draft, I was kind of checked out, and I was making videos and all this stuff. and I wasn't really following the best player available at the time of the selection, and I was blown away that he was still sitting there. Needs a lot of work when it comes to run defense. He doesn't have a huge wingspan, but I think he fits again Vic Fangio's defense to a T. 6'3", 252 pounds, a lot of production, a lot of versatility. Doesn't have, again, the length you're looking for, but man, another guy that Clint Hurt can coach up and really develop into a situational pass rusher for the Eagles. I like this pick quite a bit. Again, I think their last two picks in terms of value were outstanding. I give this an A. What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I want to give this an A+ because again, I think the value is great. I thought he was a 4th round pick. We grabbed him, in the late 6th. This is an easy A for me, just like Antonio said. Absolutely. I mean, this is an edge guy that I remember us talking earlier in the year. He had a big game earlier in the year, and he's just started sticking out to me from that point on. And our good buddy David from Birds of the Round Table, he lives right by Virginia Tech there, so he's constantly going to see those games there. And yeah, I think combination of all that really made me put this guy on my radar, and I'm so thrilled that we were able to get him, add some more depth to that edge group that, again, is basically having to be rebuilt from last year. We lost the legend in BG, and we lost Sweat, and, we still have Huff, whatever he's doing. And, Nolan Smith emerged as a star in the playoffs, and hopefully that can continue. And you have Jalex Hunt there, and you signed 2 free agents, and now you add this guy to the mix. So there's no pressure for him to be the guy right away. You can kind of take his time and mold him like clay and get him working, down the line.
Yeah. All right. That does it for our Eagles draft picks. Rob, if you're still watching, make sure you comment so we get your picks, because we're not done just yet. But overall, looking at the scorecard here, outside of McWilliams and Miles Hinton, pretty high praise.
Yeah.
Pretty high praise overall. I think when I was doing my scorecard, I was around a B. Maybe I'm being too low. That's kind of my take on this exercise. What's your take?
Yeah, I think it's a B+. I think you just grabbed so many positions of need. I think you got a lot of great value. Some of the picks may not have been sexy, and some of them may be a little head scratcher as far as the McWilliams and the Miles Hinton. But I think a lot of that is just simply because we don't know a lot about them. So the perceived value is not there just because we don't know a lot about them. But of the people that we do, I feel like we got good value for him. Howie certainly, moved around the board all day. And, again, I still can't believe we got Jihaad Campbell in the 1st round. I mean, a linebacker, literally has not happened since 1979. Not in my lifetime. So gotta love it.
Ivan says you have to understand the Eagles have some great coaches who will make these players better. Isn't that refreshing? Like, Can we just take a moment and just reread this comment? You have to understand the Eagles have great coaches who will make these players better. Like, you look at the Phillies and Kevin Long, you look at the Sixers and all the mess and lack of accountability over there. And the Eagles are just, from a front office standpoint, from a coaching standpoint, with Clint Hurt, these last few years have been outstanding. So the Eagles finally have it right. Hopefully everything kind of keeps rolling, because it wasn't this case like 12 months ago. Like the Eagles are finally in a position with Clint Hurt and Fangio and Stoutland. Like it's a great thing. It's a truly great thing. Antonio says easy A for APR. Rob's going to sleep apparently.
Isn't that nice of him?
Yeah, must be nice. Just leaving us hanging.
Right.
As always. Anyway, there's like an entire chat going on in the chat.
I absolutely love that.
It's hilarious. David says concerns about Makuba's size are ridiculous. I agree, David. As a free safety, he's not going to be relied on to utilize that size. He's going to be a more, of a deep safety. He's going to be a guy that's going to be playing with a lot of range. Again, Vic Fangio doesn't want his safeties normally to play closer to the line of scrimmage. I think it's an overrated criticism. Luffy says we did Mac dirty. He adds good corner depth. I think Avonte Maddox is a good comp. I think Avonte Maddox could be the comp for him. I'm not sure yet. Again, Mac McWilliams, I'm going to be honest, was not on my radar. And I'm not going to say I know about Mac McWilliams. So I'll always be honest here. That's the question of the day, Marshawn. When is training camp? Let's roll on, Ryan. Your favorite move of the draft. What was your favorite move of the draft?
Moving up from 32 to 31. Like, I couldn't care less about all the move backs. Like, come on, that's not sexy. None of that matters. I know how he was just trying to get extra picks and then, this, that, and the other. Whatever. You moved up one spot to get a linebacker. What more else do I need?
That's the exciting piece. Like, Jihaad Campbell's going to play, and we could be talking about the best 1-2 punch at linebacker in the NFL. That's freaking insane, Ryan.
I
freaking
never thought I would hear of a day where we, not only have the best defense, lose half of our starters and replenish, and then somehow, some way, we have the best tandem in the league.
Yeah.
Those aren't words I've thought I'd ever hear.
It's insane. And two guys that I think fit each other so well for a defense that preaches positionless football, preaches guys that can do different roles. And from a defensive standpoint, I don't know what the hell quarterbacks are going to do when you have a Jihaad Campbell, when you have a Zach Bond, two guys that can blitz at any moment, guys that can drop back. There's so many different things. I mean, then you add Cooper DeJean to that list, and you're just putting quarterbacks in a blender, man. That is exciting. That's a really good one. I really personally like the Ty Robinson pick. That was my favorite move. As you can see in the grades here, I was the only one that gave it an A. I think Ty Robinson is going to be yet another versatile weapon for this defensive line. And I like that we're adding more size. He's a guy that can get deflections. He's a good pass rusher, solid against the run, and I think he can play edge as well in different situations. Maybe like Ty Robinson plays on the edge and in different, formations, and we see J-Lex Hunt kick inside. Different things like that that I'm really intrigued with. That's a really fun thought process that I'll be thinking about for a while. So for me, I'm going Ty Robinson. Ryan, what was your least favorite move of the draft?
Probably Mac McWilliams because Braden Swinson was right there, and I thought that would have been a great pick.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. That is definitely the biggest head scratch. Like, I can buy into Drew Kendall as a center guard kind of dude, a really good athlete, and a guy that Jeff Stoutland probably really is high on. I don't know. The biggest issue with this when it comes to Mac McWilliams is I don't have information at this point during the draft process. He was off my radar. I don't really have anything to talk to you about other than what I read. So I didn't watch him. So I don't really have much to add beyond. I think he was best friends with Quinyon Mitchell. No, that was Max. That was a safety from Toledo they picked up as an undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank what his name is. But anyway, for me, McWilliams was the biggest reach, like Big Sarge says. Wow, Campbell equals Parsons. Daniel agrees. Ty Robinson is also his favorite. But we had Morrow and Cunningham. Now we have Dean, Campbell, and Bond. I think the writing is on the wall about Nakobe Dean. I think it's pretty obvious that they're not very optimistic about that going forward. Maxon Hook is the dude. Thank you.
Yeah,
let's get into this. Let's get into this because that's the last question of the night.
Okay.
Favorite undrafted free agent for the Birds?
Favorite. It has to be Holland Pierce.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's 6'8", 340. He's a guy that, again, thanks to you, because you wouldn't shut up about him. I became very aware of, and again, kind of found myself really wanting to add him to the mix. I love a big offensive line, like I just do. And he would come in and it would be absolutely amazing. I'm shocked that he didn't get drafted, and I love that we get to reap the benefits of such a big dude that hopefully can turn out to be the next great offensive lineman for Stoutland.
Yeah. What's up, Eric? Our latest brother from Eagles Pinpool Network. What's going on, dude? He says Eagles hating on Mac, but glazing a guy who gave up 15 pressures in his last 2 games. That's so true. That's very fair. That's very fair.
Listen,
we're talking about day 3 guys.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I fully admit I know nothing about Mac McWilliams, so I can't say I necessarily hate the pick. I just don't know the pick. That's all.
Yeah.
So there's no hate as far as hating any of these picks. I am just unfamiliar with Mac McWilliams. I am unfamiliar with Miles Hinton.
Yeah.
That is all. And I plan on getting very familiar with them this week.
Yep, exactly. Maybe we'll make that a segment for next week. Were we wrong on Mac McWilliams? We'll make that a segment.
Okay.
Crow says don't beat up on Mac. You can do some returning. He can be a gunner.
Awesome.
Back up 3 positions in the secondary. That's really interesting. But yeah, for me, no doubt it was Holland Pierce. If you watched any of our shows, like I had Holland Pierce to us in the 3rd or 4th round many times during our mocks, and Holland Pierce, again, like my man Big Sarge says, 6'8", 341 pounds. He was a former walk-on, played over 3,100 snaps. He had earned 2nd team All Big Ten honors in 2024. Really good run blocker, big time versatility over those 3,100 snaps. Almost basically like a 60-40 when it comes to left and right tackle. He needs to work on his pass protection and pass blocking, but man, the tools and the traits, just an amazing undrafted free agent pickup for Jeff Stoutland University. By far, it's Holland Pierce.
Yeah, he's a big
boy. Not even close. Yeah, Big Fred. And he played a lot. How many snaps did Fred play last year? He was an underrated player. I remember him shutting down that guy from the Bengals. I'm drawing a blank who that was. But he was awesome. Krabby says, Eagles Eric here to class up the show. That's what he does.
Yeah.
And yeah,
really wish
that's really our show. Holland Pierce at guard. Holland Pierce at guard.
Whoa! There we go.
Are you being serious? Oh my gosh, that
could be crazy, right?
That is exciting. I don't even know. I don't even know. 6'8" guard. That is hilarious. But that wraps it up. I think in general, we are very, very positive about the Eagles 2025 draft class. Some really good value picks here that, as we indicate there on the scorecard, Jihaad Campbell, Andrew Makuba, Kyle McCord, Cameron Williams, Antwaun Powell-Ryland. We are very, very high on some of these guys. And yeah, the Eagles are loaded up for 2026. And we are getting ready for 2026 NFL draft content. I've got tons of graphics and stuff ready to go. I'm not touching the NFL draft for another week or 2. I'm definitely exhausted. I've put out probably 40 videos the last 3 days. and I'm going to take a break moving forward. Oh, we have the Florida running back too. Really good athlete. Really good athlete. I'm intrigued, but I don't see him more than a practice squad guy. Daniel says 2026 is heavy on O-line. It really is. There's a lot of interesting offensive tackles, unlike this year, where I was really down on the O-line. This year, I think next year has real upside if you're looking for an offensive tackle. David says, what is the strength of the 2026 NFL draft? Obviously, you start with Arch Manning. He would have been by far QB1 of this draft if you were looking there. You have Caleb Downs, who's a blue chip prospect. Jeremiah Smith, a wide receiver out of Ohio State, blue chip prospect. We already talked about some of the offensive tackles, but I think that's where it starts. Outside of that, there's some depth at edge. There's some depth at cornerback in terms of first round, potential prospects. I think it's a better draft, but we always say that. I think that's a fake thing.
Hard to evaluate this far out because this far out, everybody looks amazing.
I think we always say
you don't know who's staying, who's going. I mean, do we really think Arch Manning is going to jump? Maybe, but he could stay. I mean, it depends on who's going to be picking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll throw some names out really quick. If you're looking for edge, just to research for 2026 specifically, look at Reuben Bain Jr. out of Miami. Look at LT Overton out of Alabama. Look at Keldrick Falk out of Auburn. And look at Sunterin Perkins out of Ole Miss. Those are a few names to know as we get ready for 2026. As we do, we will be doing a ton of stuff on that in a little while. But anyway, Ryan, final thoughts, plugs. We're out of here, man.
Yeah, listen, it was a great draft. I thought the Eagles, got a couple of nice dudes and some great depth pieces. So I'm excited to kind of see how it all pans out. The next big thing for me, as a guy who loves jerseys, is the jersey number reveal. I know that's always a good one for me. See which jerseys I may be getting. I'm probably already getting Campbell. In fact, I already am getting Campbell. But Makuba could be one as well. I was a big fan of him. So we'll see. We'll see what jersey numbers are. And then, of course, don't forget, I think it's May 15th, the schedule release.
Oh, wow. Jeez, this offseason is just flying, man. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Another great day of figuring out what away game we're going to go to. So,
yeah. And Tony says, thank you for all your work during draft season. Here at Party on Broad, we cover it all year. I'm probably going to change things up this offseason with the 2026 draft. I'll keep everyone updated. But again, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you. We're not doing a live show tomorrow. This is like our draft review. But we'll be back live, of course, for Birds of the Round Table on Tuesday night at Eagles Pin Pool. So be on the lookout for that for more draft review type of stuff. He is Ryan Reese at Philly Sports PSA. Anything else you want to plug?
Rob, hopefully you're eating a nice caramel sundae with your broken internet. And there's nothing you can do or say back until next week. So take that.
Krabby says, thank you guys. Join us Tuesday. We're going to break down more, especially I'll have more on Mac McWilliams for sure.
Yeah.
Ryan and Hinton. Antonio says sad about Fannin. Anyway, he's Ryan Reese. I am Dibes. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week. Stay awesome.